Welcome back to the Madison Research Essentials Toolkit. In this video, we are going to talk a little bit about why you are required to complete this tutorial and complete the Madison Research Essential Skills Test, or MREST, early in your career at JMU. The requirements of Cluster 1 in general education are designed to be foundational to your university experience. In Cluster 1, students take classes in how to organize their public speaking or how to write in academic settings, and some version of a class designed to help you develop critical thinking skills. One additional part of every first-year student's Cluster 1 experience is building information literacy skills. But we don't have you take a class. Students complete this tutorial and complete a test that is designed to demonstrate information literacy competence. Students need these foundational skills because your professors in classes will expect you to be able to do this stuff in both Gen Ed courses, but also in your major. What is information literacy? Simply put, knowing how to know. More formally, we expect students to be able to demonstrate competency of 6 information literacy learning objectives after they complete the Research Essentials tutorials and pass the MREST. First, we ask that you recognize that information is available in a variety of formats, including, but not limited to, text, images, and visual media. Academic libraries are full of books, articles, and texty content, but we also have access to databases with images, have film collections, and have data that can be manipulated and used to make decisions or inform your work. Information can be a painting, a graph, or the more traditional print resource. All we need you to understand here is that information takes multiple forms and is pretty much all around you and of course all over the internet. You will see more about this in the toolkit under the heading Information Format. Next, we ask you to determine when information is needed and be able to find it efficiently using a wide variety of sources. This is actually a lot harder than you'd think and is really 2 things. First, you need to understand when you have a gap in your own knowledge. When you don't know something, that is a nudge to you to get more information so that you can know. New undergraduates and students new to academic communities like JMU sometimes don't even know that they don't know something. So it's a challenge. We know and understand that you have certainly found and used information prior to coming to JMU. But you've just entered a community of learners and scholars that is different from the one you came from. Where and how you look for information drives your results. If you make the choice to just search in Wikipedia, then you are responsible for that research choice, and the professor you are working with might take issue with that. If your internet research takes you to .com websites, again, you've made a choice which might have ramifications while you're at JMU. This is one place the librarians can help you. Ask them, where should I look for sources that answer XYZ kinds of questions? What kind of source should I be looking for? What kinds of search terms should I be using? What is the best way to string my search terms together? All of these kinds of questions will affect the efficiency of your searches. Ask for help. We will cover this in much more detail in the toolkit, Needing and Finding Information. You will also learn how to evaluate the quality of information. This might be best explained by example. Let's say you are doing research on the value of a college education, and you want to say that college graduates make more money over the course of their working lives than people who didn't attend college. Which source might be better? A website from a bank that writes student loans, or B, a search study done by an economist with years of income data. New scholars need to be careful to think about who is making the claims and how the claim is supported by evidence or research. We will be covering this information in the Evaluating Information portion of the toolkit. You will also be learning to use information effectively for a purpose. In Cluster 1 and afterward, you will be asked to use resources to support your claims or to inform your own work. When you use a source, in writing or in a presentation, you need to use them not just to show that you can find sources. You need to use them to strengthen your argument or to inform your audience. Typically, we do this by paraphrasing, summarizing, and quoting, like we are here, the works or words of another. but when this goes wrong, it is evident in the student work. Collecting sources just to meet the assignment's minimum requirements, or worse, writing the paper first and then looking for sources at the end, means the student isn't using information efficiently. We will cover this content in the Using Information portion of the toolkit. You will also learn to use appropriate technologies to create an information-based product. Here you need to consider a few things. Now that I have made this information thing, how best to communicate it? You'd need to consider who am I talking to? How can I best convey my message to them? And is there a technology that can help? But technologies, like shoes, can be used incorrectly and get in your way. So if you are asked to give a 20-minute presentation to an audience that will be physically present, you probably would not read them a 25-page research paper, but would very likely make an effective Prezi or PowerPoint presentation. If you need to communicate with the entire first-year class of JMU students, and they need the same information but at different times, you would probably make a web page that they can get to. But we are also asking you to make judicious decisions about the features of these technologies and controlling them so that your meaning isn't lost in the bells and whistles of a software program. This visual is an oversimplified example. If I'm trying to explain the toolkit to you, but I've got a bunch of stuff highlighted or I've over-messed around with this image exposure, I'm using my technology, but not in a good way. It gets in the way of me communicating with you. In fact, you can think about this series of tutorials as an appropriate use of technologies. We need to communicate with the entire first-year class. We need to break up the information so that you aren't watching Information Literacy, the epically long movie, and we need to deliver it to you online. We will cover this in more detail in the Information Technologies portion of the toolkit. Lastly, we need you to be able to use information ethically and legally. Scholars use the words and works of others all the time, but they do so ethically. They give credit to the ideas of others through attribution, usually in the form of a citation. Students also need to understand that ideas, works, and words have value to the creator. Not using information ethically, either stealing it or by non-attribution, can lead to an honor code violation and is a big deal on a university campus because the work of the university, beyond teaching, is the creation of scholarship. If we don't adhere to the rules, we will quickly diminish JMU's reputation as a scholarly community. We will cover this in the information ethics portion of the toolkit. After you complete these tutorials, you will need to demonstrate your understanding of these concepts by passing the Madison Research Essential Skills Test, or MREST, in Ashby Lab. Take it. Get it done. The requirements apply to everyone. If you need help with the MREST, you can visit a tutor in the Communication Resource Center in the Student Success Building. You will know if you passed or not at the end of the test. This tutorial and the MREST are designed to give you a start developing the skills and tools needed for doing this kind of work throughout your academic career. Whether you are writing a business plan or organizing an experiment, analyzing a piece of art, novel, or play, investigating a historical event, or diagnosing a patient, all academic disciplines have research methods that they adhere to. We hope this set of fundamental skills will take you into your major field of study and lay a foundation for the next level of academic research.